Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolyn and this is my channel, Carolyn Stitches, my Flosstube channel about cross stitch and counted canvas and crochet and all the projects I'm working on, but it is predominantly about, cross stitch. It's one of those days, it's tiring. Today is Sunday, April 30th, 2023. Trying to get this recorded this morning before the storms come in South Florida. Our county is currently under a tornado warning, but it's more for East Central Palm Beach County, which is north of us. But watching the radar, we do have a line of storms coming towards us. Yesterday, North Palm Beach, they had an EF1 tornado touchdown. We've had some heck of some storms. We had an EF1 tornado touchdown in North Palm Beach last night. My town, Boynton Beach, we had an EF0 touchdown along the coast, more east of us, a little southeast of us, one touchdown. But we have had some crazy thunderstorms in South Florida the last couple days. So I'm just like, get this recorded early before the line of storms come in, and hopefully when that's coming in, it'll be quiet and I'll just sit and stitch. So anyway, today, once again, is Sunday, April 30th, 2023. My name is Carolyn. This is Carolyn Stitches. I'd like to say thank you to all my returning viewers and thank you to all the new subscribers. I did have a lovely shout out from a lady, and I can't remember her name, but I will look it up and put it in the description box below. But thank you so much for the lovely shout out. Sorry, my head is crazy. My husband and I went out to dinner last night and had a nice dinner, a nice night out, and so we're a little tired. It was a busy day yesterday. So what have I been up to in the past month? Lots of stitching, a lot of stitching. Those who've been following along about work, that has been crazy. A major deadline, and we have a vendor who was supposed to provide reports for this deadline over a week ago. Last minute, we were the 11th hour to file this report, and my director, my boss, is now retired. I'm gonna miss her, and we're in transition at work, so I'm trying to just stay sane with work. But that's what my stitching is for. That's what my hobby is for, to keep me happy and calm. So, anything else? It's just been a quiet month. Just a lot of stitching, trying to relax. I did go down, what did I do? Oh, my husband took me on a road trip a couple Sundays ago, because he's looking for a new daily driver S10 pickup truck, and we drove up to north of Orlando, which is like a 3-hour ride. He didn't buy it, so it was a 3-hour ride back, and I did some crochet the whole way up and back. So I got a lot of crochet done, and like 2 or 3 days later I had to drive back to Orlando for work, and thankfully one of my employees drove. So while he drove, I crocheted the whole way up and the whole way back. So I did get a lot of work on my crochet project this month, and I have that in the bag here that I will share with you later. So let's just get into it. I have some finishes. I have some new starts that are finishes, whips that I've worked on, whip goes that I've worked on. Once again, I have my little planner book, so I follow it just in the order that I have written things down in my planner book. That way I can make sure I share everything with you and I do not miss anything. So to start with, my first finish was Olga by the Plum Street Sampler. This was a project I picked up from my local needlework shop, the Cross Stitch Cupboard. They had some kitted projects for like $5 a kit, and it was a previous stitcher, a late stitcher who passed along. It was like her stash that they were, selling or, getting rid of. So I picked this one up, and it was partially stitched, and it had all the flosses and everything, all the called for fancy floss, and so I finished it up. And it is Olga by the Plum Street Samplers, and the prior stitcher had all the alphabet stitched, and she had a small start on the body, just some stripes. So when I picked it up, I had to finish up the body, the flower, basically all of this down here I had to finish up, and then all the stars up in the alphabet. There was a stitching error, so the head's like one stitch over, but I made it work. So that is Olga by Plum Street Samplers. It is on some mystery 32 count linen with the called for DMC flosses. So I finished that up at the beginning of the month. Absolutely love it. It's very cute. So happy to finish that previous stitcher's stitching. So that's the first one of the month. Next I worked on, I worked on one of my whips. So every month I spin my wheel of whips, and whatever it lands on, that's the whip that I work on for at least a week, and then I put it aside and I can either like spin my wheel again, work on another whip, or work on any other project I want to work on. So when I spun the wheel, it landed on Cat's Eyes by Pegasus Originals. Cat's Eyes by Pegasus Originals, and I already had the center cat stitched. And this, I got this as a kit on eBay, but it came with an Ada, and I substituted that out for a 28 count Jobeline. And I'm using all the DMCs that came in the kit. I did have to replace the white that was in the kit. So sometimes if you buy one of these old kits, and I wish I would have kept it, it had a lot of white floss that was wound around with the other floss in the kit. And then when I took it out, you could see discoloration on the white floss. So I threw away all the white floss and got new fresh white floss for the kit. But anyway, it's still using the other DMC flosses that came in the kit, but substituted the fabric from Ada to 28 count Jobeline. So I stitched this cat here. I had already had this cat finished at a retreat, and then I worked on and I finished this cat here. So there's 3 more cats to do, and then this will be done. I will get this done long before the end of the year, probably by end of summer or so. I'll pull this out and get it done because I will be donating it to the cat shelter where we adopted our cats for their annual fundraising auction. So there's Cat's Eyes, and isn't that beautiful? So I did work on that. And let's see here. The next thing I worked on, is my monthly Jardin Privé project. It is the Fil de Snoz Jardin Privé. So every month I do one of the blocks. And what I noticed, I was looking online and I follow Mouse Potato, I believe it is, and she's working on it. And when I was looking at her project, she was doing April. So my April has a house and my May has a carrot, which seems a little odd. But I was looking at her project, and her April is the carrot and her May is the house. So I looked it up online, and there's another version of the pattern out there on Jardin Privé's website that does have the carrot as April and the house is May. So I just switched them. I started stitching. I did the carrot for April. I used it as charted, and I just filled in the word April as best as I could. And then I'll do May. So I think it's charted, the carrot is charted slightly differently in the new pattern because my carrot looked a little different than the one that is in the new pattern, but I made it work. So anyway, if you have this pattern and you happen to have April has the house and May's the carrot, check out on Jardin Privé's website, because there's a different version where they're switched, and it was easy enough to switch it. So I am stitching this on, I think I have this memorized by now, 28 Cashel Sand by Picture This Plus. And I have, sorry for the wrinkles, I have April done. So I worked on April. I did change the colors on the egg and made the egg a little more colorful. So there is April. And then in May, I'll start May. But the goal is to have one of these blocks a month, and by the end of the year, it'll be finished. I'm doing it this way, hoping it'll motivate me to like stay on it and get it done, because sometimes I feel if you just work on it like nonstop, you get bored with it, and then it kind of goes in the whip pile and never gets done anyway. So one block a month, and then hopefully I can get done. Okay, following my little book, I did have a mystery stitch, contest stitch that I stitched for the Cross Stitch Cupboard. It's a quick little stitch that Jean Farish designed exclusively for the Cross Stitch Cupboard, and the contest is to stitch it whatever fabric you want, whatever color thread you want, and finish it however you want to finish it, and then it's in the contest. So I worked on that, and oh, I don't have it here. I worked on that and I stitched it. It took me like a day to stitch it. And then I turned it in for the contest, and a little sneak peek, Lily Pulitzer fabric is how I finished it. Lily Pulitzer fabric. So that's just a hint on how I finished it. But it's down at the cupboard and ready for the contest. So when I get that back, I will share that with you. See the next thing. Oh yeah, or I did earlier in the month, I did go down to the cupboard, because that's when was it earlier in the month or was it last month? Like, when did I go to the cupboard? Because I feel like in my last video, I spoke about going to the cupboard, because that's when I mentioned I had the pattern. So you know what? Yeah, I didn't go to the cupboard. But on my previous trip to the cupboard, I may have shared this with you, I picked up Simply Saying by Little Stitch Girl. April has little bunny, shake your bunny tail. Yeah, shake your bunny tail. So I started stitching this, and I converted the bunny from a gray bunny to a brown bunny, and then I just substituted the floss for the words. I just pulled some Victorian Motto sampler floss. I stitched this on a light pink splash. I think it's a Lugana. So there it is. It's hard to tell the splash. My light is kind of washing it out. There you go. You can see some of the splash. But that is Shake Your Bunny Tail, and I converted it to a brown bunny with a brown tail, and this is all Victorian Motto sampler floss. So I think that's really cute. And I stitch that up. This, how long did that take? It took like 5 days. I worked on it after work each night, so it went pretty fast because of the letters. It's not a lot of, full fill-in stitching, so it's really cute. So that was Shake Your Bunny Tail. Simply Saying, it's not Shake Your Bunny Tail, it's Simply Saying April by Little Stitch Girl. And then what else? Oh, I was playing in my room one weekend, playing in my room, and I have a bag that holds my counted canvas projects. So I decided one weekend, like, let me look through my counted canvas projects and just organize them, because I knew I had some stuff on order at the cross stitch cupboard, some different threads and stuff. So as I was organizing it, I found a pile of patterns that I bought last May, when I went up to, my husband had training in Sanford, Florida, and I went up and spent a couple days with him, and part of my trip up is I made this trip of seeing a bunch of cross stitch stores. I think I went to Stitcher's Paradise in Denell, Florida, which is like near Daytona. Needlework in Altamont Springs, and I believe I went and saw Gary Lee Sly's shop in Leesburg, Florida, the whole time I was staying there with the hubby. And when I dug out my needlework, my counted canvas bag, I found a whole bunch of patterns that I'd forgotten about. So I did pull one out of the pack, and it is Kitty Bun Bun by the Victoria Sampler. And this, when I purchased this, it had the floss pack with all the fancy flosses and the buttons. So this is Kitty Bun Bun. And I pulled this out and I stitched on it. And it only took me about 4 days to do it. I'm stitched it on a piece of 28 count, I think it's Jobeline Hot Cocoa by Bestitch Me Fabrics. Sorry, I got Tranquility's hair on it. And there is Kitty Bun Bun, all finished with the buttons, called for flosses, fancy flosses, and I got the buttons all sewn on. So very cute, Kitty Bun Bun. Sat in a pile for a year, forgotten about, but I'm glad I pulled it out and stitched it up. It's always nice. I discovered a pile of patterns I forgot about. Oh well. Now I know where they are, and they'll get in their proper homes to be worked on. Okay, so after Kitty Bun Bun, oh my gosh, I had one day where I did not cross stitch, and that was the day I did the work trip up to Orlando for work, because by the time we got home, I mean, 3-hour drive up for, literally we were going up for a meeting. That was like an 1.5-hour meeting, but 3-hour drive up, and we walked around and visited, you know, coworkers up there that I don't normally see in person. We had the meeting, hopped in the car, and it took us 3.5 hours or more to get back because of rush hour traffic. So by the time I got home, I was exhausted and I did not stitch. So I did not stitch that night, but I did work on the next day. I pulled out one of my whip goes. This was my March whip go number 22. So whip go is put together by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's her brainchild. And it's basically, you fill out like a bingo board. And every day you put a goal of, each of these squares is a goal of something you want to stitch. So it could be you put 2 hours in on a project. It could be you put 1,000 stitches in on a project. It could be you finish a whip or something. Mine is all smalls, to start and finish the smalls. So the yellow are ones she's called and I finished, and the ones with the hashtags have been called and I haven't finished them yet. So I worked on March. I'd already finished January's and February's, and last time I spoke to you, I finished one of March's, but I worked on the other March number, which on my board 22, which on my board is Tulip Egg, and it is a Mill Hill kit, and it's one of the Mill Hill kits where it's a bead kit, so it's nothing but beads, and I worked on that and I finished it. So there it is. It's all, you can see it, it's just all beads. I do enjoy working on these because you're just using white floss. So it's a matter of just following the chart and picking up the bead color as you go along. And so it's just all white floss. So it's very nice. It did have like 3 packs of beads in here. Oh, I forget how many bead colors. It was a lot of bead colors. So I used like a tacky bob, and I don't have it in here, but my tacky bob, if you know a tacky bob or a tacky bill, it's like a little mini CD case and it has sticky stuff in the surface that will hold your beads. In mine, the inside papers, they kind of have different colors. Like one inside paper is like a white, a blue, and orange on the inside papers. So I spill out the beads. So one of these packages of beads, like this package of beads here, I'll spill out on the like white paper, and then I'll mark on my Mill Hill pattern, because they'll tell you like which beads come in which pack. So it'll say like certain beads are together and certain bead colors are together in certain packs. So I just mark down like, okay, yellow here, it's on, I put like, it's on my white section of my tacky bob. Iris. It's on my white section of my tacky bob. But the next color, Citron, which is in a different bag, I spilled that on like the blue color of my tacky bob. So as I'm following the pattern and it says like I need yellow, I go to the white tacky bob, and that's where it is, because then there's also in here, there's like a petite lemon, different color, petite lemon, but that's on like a different color, my tacky bob. So my orange tacky bob had the petite lemon, and I have it all marked. So like petite lemon is on my orange, but yellow was on my white. So to me, it's very easy to know which color to pick up. And as you get going in doing this, you really start to memorize and realize which color is which color. I hope that wasn't confusing. Probably would have been a better example if I would have had my tacky bob in here, but when I was setting this up to record, I didn't think I was going to go into that much detail. So anyway, there is my tulip egg. All beads. Love these. I think on my last video I mentioned I had a bunch of these finished and I was going to take them to work, and I did. I took them to work. I have them on my filing cabinet all lined up. I mean, there's like Easter, Christmas, Halloween all lined up in a row. I'm enjoying them. I had a coworker come in and was like, "You made all these? I could never sit and do that." So it's kind of nice to sit and enjoy them during the day instead of them being packed away. Okay, so tulip egg. Oh, then I had a Zoom call with my StitchCon friends that I met at StitchCon in 2022. Us ladies have a monthly Zoom call, and while we were on the Zoom call, I stitched on a whip, which was just some white fill-in, so I'm not even going to show that. But I was talking to them, and I promised them that I would pull out a project that we were doing as a stitch along and work on it. So when we were at StitchCon, my friend Morgan, Wild Crafty Life on Instagram, she had just been a cross stitcher for like a year, and to celebrate her 1 year of cross stitching, we decided to do Telling Emblems scissor sampler together. And our other friend at our StitchCon table, Caitlin Hair on Instagram, she stitched it also. So the three of us were stitching, and I believe, yeah, I think Caitlin's is done, and I know Morgan's is done. So I told the ladies I'd get mine out and finish it up. So this is Tella Emblem scissor sampler, and I'm using all the cauliflower floss. It has a lot of DMC and about 5 weeks dye works. I am stitching this on a piece of 32 count Lagana Peaches and Cream by Atomic Ranch, and I am very close to a finish. And I know I put this away last time. It was the alphabet border. But sorry for the wrinkles. I'm not ironing it until I'm done. The whole story on my iron and my machine. So this is Peaches and Cream by Atomic Ranch. And when I had it done, when I picked it up, I had the alphabet done. I had through here done. And so when I picked it up, I had to stitch most of the alphabet. I had to stitch all the numbers, these two little things. I had to do the alphabet down the side and the border and the birds. So I really need to finish the birds. There's some motifs in the corner, and then I need to bring the border up, and the same border is repeated at the top. I tell you, it's the border that's getting me. The border is what's slowing me down, but I'm close. So I will keep this out. My plans are this will stay as a primary stitch until it's finished, and hopefully that will be finished. Hoping to get a lot of progress on it today, but maybe today and 1 or 2 more nights after work, and it'll be done. So the scissor sampler by Tella Emblem, stitch along with my friends Morgan and Caitlin, and yes ladies, I'm close to getting it done. So this is a whip that I pulled out too, so that'll also mark off a whip on my whip pile, which will be very nice. Let's see here. Okay. That is all the stitching. Oh, when I was, here, I'll show you. Let me fold this. This is the pattern that we were doing for the cross stitch cupboard for their contest. Jean Farish, designed exclusively for the cross stitch cupboard. It says, being happy never goes out of style, and it's a Lily Pulitzer pattern. A Lily Pulitzer quote. That's why, hence the Lily Pulitzer fabric I showed earlier. When I was sewing that thing, the thing I made for finishing, which I'll share with you, I was winging it on what I was making, and I kind of activated the safety feature. My sewing machine's right here. Kind of activated the safety feature on my sewing machine, and because I was doing too much thick seam, and I got the safety feature undone, started sewing again, activated the safety feature on my sewing machine again, and then I got that undone, and I was able to get like the last 20 stitches in, but the whole time my machine is like clunk, 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 so I have to get my sewing machine into the repair shop to be serviced. And of course, now that the machine has to go into the repair shop to be serviced, is about the time I was itching to like do a little quilting or sew on something. Not until the machine gets back from servicing. And then my little project I was working on, which will make more sense when I get it back and I share with you, I went to press it, and I had used some felt in the project, and I put my iron right down on the felt. Never put your iron right down on the felt. That felt melted right into my iron. And so, two things, it took me about 20 to 30 minutes with iron cleaner to get the melted felt off my faceplate of my iron. And my iron hasn't quite been acting right since then. I mean, the faceplate's clean, it's all clean. So I don't know. I've been nervous to iron anything because my iron's just been spitting like crazy, so I might have to get a new iron. Granted, my iron is like really old, but oh well, new iron. And then I had to sit down with that stitching, and I did all this decorative stitching around the felt, and I had to sit there and pull out all this decorative stitching. You probably can't see on my little sample, but on my little sample, you probably can't see it. See all the little hearts? That was like decorative stitching that I had done all around this felt. And I had to sit there and pull out all this decorative stitching, cut a new piece of felt, sew it back in. I didn't decorative stitch at that time. And then finish assembling the project. But I'm rusty on my sewing. But I give myself credit. I was winging it on what I was making. I wasn't following a pattern. I was just kind of using inspiration from something else, from a couple different people, not following any specific pattern, sets of instructions, and just kind of threw this thing together. So I'm very proud of that. But now I kind of want to quilt. My machine doesn't work. I do have a backup machine, but I don't feel like pulling it out. Okay, what else? I have very little haul. Oh, let's finish cross stitch, and then I will go in to show you some counted canvas stuff, and then I will show my crochet. So we'll do all that at the end. So we'll finish cross stitch first. So that is all my cross stitching for the month. Plans and some haul. So my plans for next month is I want to work on my whip goes. I haven't touched my April whip goes. So the numbers called for April were 5 and 17, and my 5 is Chessie's Fern, which is a pattern by Chessie and me. Chessie's Fern. It's a little pincushion in scissor fob, and this came as a kit with the silks, and my plan is to finish it because this is where I left off, and I should have done this before I killed my sewing machine, but I want to sew a piece of fabric around this to make this a larger piece of fabric so I can put it in a hoop, because I don't like stitching in hand and I'm having a hard time. So I really wanted to attach a piece of fabric around this to make it larger so I could put it in the hoop. So this is one of my April whip goes I haven't done yet is to stitch Chessie's fern and get the pincushion and the scissor fob done. So that's still sitting around. My other April whip go project that I haven't touched yet is a little Mill Hill kit. Oh, it just started pouring here, so the storm is coming. Is a Mill Hill kit called Menorah. This is stitched on a piece of even weave fabric, and then you make it into this little, like, it's like a little stuffed pillow with the beading and stuff. So that is my other whip go for April to work on. And I just have to share this. I found this at Michael's, and I thought it was the perfect little thing too to keep one of these little Mill Hill kits in. It's like a pencil case or something. Marker case. It's a marker case from Michael's, and it was up in the the little dollar bin things that they have. So it's a little marker case, snaps open the lid. So in here I have this little mat. It's like a thread bed mat. I got this from when I ordered a project bag, Gamma's Treasures. When I ordered a project bag from Gamma's Treasures, she threw this in there inside the project bag, but it fits perfectly into the bottom of this marker case. This actually has a magnet under there. So when I go to stitch on this, the flosses will stick to the interior here, and then the little container just holds the little kit together. So I thought that was a cool idea. I do use a lot of these Bitsy Bobs from That's So Kelly for my Mill Hill kits, but I thought this was a cute idea too. Okay, so that is the Menorah is my other April whip go to finish. And then the numbers for May for whip go were 23 and 25. And my 23 is Mr. Claus, another Mill Hill kit. So Mr. Claus, a little Mill Hill kit. And I have my Bitsy Bob ready to go to stitch on Mr. Claus. I love these Bitsy Bobs. That's So Kelly, if you subscribe to her newsletter, every Friday she sends out like an update saying which Bitsy Bobs are going to be released. So you can see which ones are going to be released. I think I have about 4 of these, and I just love them. And the rain is coming down. Okay, and then the other one for May is number 25, which is Retro Christmas Ornament, and it's in another Bitsy Bob. This is a larger Bitsy Bob. There's like 2 sizes. This is a larger Bitsy Bob, and Retro Christmas Ornament is by Meridian Designs, and this came in a advent box from Under the Sea Fabrics last year. And in part of the advent box, every day you opened it, it was like the flosses and the fabric and the pattern and the finishing pack. So the fabric is Ice Princess, 28 count Lugana Ice Princess, and it has a dinky dyes silk and some DMCs, some beads, Krynic, and the finishing. So I have all that together to stitch. Hopefully that won't take long. That is my other whip go. Okay, rest of my May plans. I know everybody's getting into May, it's like mania. So my other May plans, in addition to finishing Scissor Sampler, getting that done, and stitching as many whip goes as I can, and doing my Jardin Privé May, which may take a while because it's the house. I am going, wow, it's bad out there. I am going to work on Counted Canvas. So I will get in that in a second. The only other haul I have been very good this month. The only haul I have is I got the Victorian Motto Sampler Pastels. This was called Favorite Pastels from Victorian Motto Sampler Floss. A pack of floss. It was really good. Really good. I'm being good because in May I'm attending the Stitching in the Wild retreat in Fort Lauderdale. And I know Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie will be there, so I'll probably want to get some fabrics. That's kind of why I've been really good. So that is it for the cross stitch portion of this channel. Next I'm going to go into my crochet project, show you my crochet project if you're interested in it, and then I'm going to talk a little counted canvas work. So my crochet project that I worked on for 2 road trips, and eventually this will get done. Do not think I have a picture of it. Sorry, I have all the instructions here. I don't have a picture of it finished. I will have to insert a picture here. But it is the Lost in Time shawl by Johanna Lindahl, Mijo Crochet, M-I-J-O Crochet. And I believe this is a free pattern, Lost in Time. And it has a, let me see here, 12 row repeat, and then you just after you do the initial like 14 rows, then it's a 12 row repeat. And the pattern is great because it does tell you as you're into each repeat how many like double crochets, popcorns, single crochets you should have on the row. So if you're like in the 5th repeat of the 12 rows, it'll tell you that how many stitches you should have. So that helps. Very helpful. I am stitching this using a, I can't read it, 5mm hook, and I am using Carolyn's Skinny Cake colorway Bluebells. It's a Carolyn Skinny Cake colorway Bluebells. I like to use these self-stripings because it does the work, and I don't mind using the acrylic, you know, acrylic stuff for these because it's crochet and it's a shawl. Or I use this acrylic for blankets. The nice wools and wool blends and cashmeres, I usually kind of save that for when I knit and use it then. So this is where I am. Let me see what repeat I'm on. I did quite a bit of this. I'm almost done with the 3rd repeat of the pattern. The right side? Yeah, that's the right side. So this is where I am with it. And I'm almost done with the 3rd repeat of the pattern. So there's the shawl. So on these road trips, I think I stitched like this much, this many rows from like here to here. That's a lot of stitching. So that's the pattern. I'm gonna block it, it'll open it up. It has popcorns here, textured stitches, because you're stitching front back post, but it's really, really pretty. Lost in Time shawl. I have 2 balls of yarn. I'm just gonna keep going until definitely the 1 ball is gonna get used up, and then we'll see how far I get in the 2nd ball before I say it's finished. But I do like these shawls kind of big. And I'm in South Florida, it's hot. I use the shawls at work because it gets quite cold in the air conditioning. Like right now I'm sitting here talking to you, my air conditioning vent is right above my head and it's blowing and it's chilly. So air conditioning. Okay, my other plan for May is I'm going to focus on some counted canvas work. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I'm going to focus on counted canvas work. So I had started Holiday Delights Valentine's Day. This is the Needle Delights Originals by Kathy Rees. You can, if you have a another cross stitch cupboard, she has some counted canvas. I know Stitcher's Paradise in Denell, I think it's Denell, Stitcher's Paradise in Florida. She has some counted canvas patterns and stuff, and you can always go to Kathy Rees's website, needledelights.com, and you can order the pattern and sometimes the kit. So I had previously started this on my canvas, and this is on 18 count white mono canvas. I charted out the grid, following the instructions, chart out the grid. I charted out the grid, and I have a small start here. So my goal is to work on this. It's all Carolyn watercolors. There. Yeah, Carolyn watercolors threads, DMC number 5 pearl cotton, and there's a Kreinik in there. So that's all the colors, and I'm going to work on that. Do my counted canvas work. So my other part of my counted canvas work, of those who are interested, I was organizing my bag of counted canvas work, and I want to show you something I picked up. Those of you who may be counted canvas, I used to keep the rolls of canvas, like when I have a pattern and I have it fully kitted with the floss. This is DMC floss, and there's going to be some Kreinik ribbon and a Kreinik braid and one Carolyn watercolor lilies, but it's mostly DMC pearl. What is this one? Spring Surprises by Laura J. Perrin Designs. So it's very Eastery. I would roll the canvas and just kind of tuck it into the bag, so all these bags would have like a piece of canvas roll sticking out of the top of them. But when I was at Joann's, I found this box that is to store your 2.5 inch strips of fabric for quilting. It's called a fabric strip box. So all I did was roll up my canvases, and I rolled them all together. I mean, they're not in here individually rolled. I took all my canvases and just wound them around each other so they stay rolled and they don't risk of getting squished or anything. This is just an extra piece from cutting down some canvas. But you can see canvas is really, it's kind of stiff. I didn't want it like folded and creased and stuff. So it's all rolled around. I have all the pieces are labeled for the pattern that they're for. And just put them in the box, and it protects them and keeps them from getting squished or creased or whatever. So I have them all in their own little box. Love this. Okay. So I do want to work on counted canvas, and like I said, I have the Needle Delights Valentine's one, but I figured let me go through some of the others I have. I have this one, Holiday Jewel. It's like a little ornament, and it uses a lot of pearl cottons. It's very simple, and some Kreinik. So that one. I may have shown these. I don't think I showed these, because I know I did a kit parade, but I don't think I did a counted canvas kit parade. This one is Aquamarine by Needle Delights Originals. I know in a prior one you saw me, I did Sugar Light, which was all purples. This is Aquamarine, all teals, all the flosses. I think I got this as a kit from Needle Delights. I love this one, Rhapsody by Amy Bear Designs. It's kind of Bargello in a way, but each of these little squares is like a different stitch, and it's Carolyn watercolors. It's Rhapsody. Sorry, I got them all down here in my bag. everything. I have stretcher bars in here too, and they're all just falling everywhere. Okay, I'll just let it go. This I picked up, I think I picked this up at a shop up in Leesburg. It's the Cabochons Harmony. And it the little kit I picked up had the different flosses and stuff, and the cabochons in it. So that's just a small one. I figured it kind of looks kind of Valentine's-y in a way. This one's from Nancy's Needles. It's Ice Crystal Snowflake, and it's got the different flosses. Oh, I gotta take the canvas out of this one so it doesn't get too creased. And then I don't have this kitted yet, but I like it. It's Nancy's Needle Airing the Winter Quilts. Tahiti by Needle Delights Originals, Kathy Reese. Tahiti. All the floss. This one's cute. Spooky Halloween Barn Quilt by Nancy's Needles. And DMCs. This one's mostly DMCs. Mostly. Got some other stuff in there. And Box of Ornaments by Laura J. Perrin Designs. Nice Christmassy one. Again, it's got some fancy ribbon floss and the DMC pearls. And then finally, this one's super cute. It's by Laura J. Perrin Designs, and it is Bargello Egg. That looks like it'll be fun to do with the pearls. So that is all my counted canvas. I think I've so far completed 2 full counted canvas patterns, and then I'll do that one. I'm loving doing the counted canvas. It's really enjoyable. I have other videos. If you look a few videos back, I have some Flosstube extras that show you how to get your prep your canvas, how to get your canvas prepped, how to get your floss prepped, and then how to do some of the stitches and read the pattern. So I hope that, you know, anybody who's interested in counting canvas finds that helpful. So that is all I have for today. This seems like a quick video for me. Oh, the rainstorm is over. The sun is shining brightly. That is South Florida. I am going to call it a day, get this uploaded, and then go work on my scissor sampler and try to get that done while I watch some Flosstube videos. So everyone have a wonderful May. If you're doing Mania, have fun with that. I'm not doing that again because I'm still working on whips from Mania from like 3 years ago. And I will be, in case anyone's going, I will be at the Stitching in the Wild cross stitch retreat put on by Garon Stitchery in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Thursday, May 18th through Sunday, May 21st. And my understanding is there are still a few seats available. If you go to the Garon Stitchery website, I think you can purchase it there. But that's where I'll be. I'm looking forward to that retreat. It's in my backyard, so I just have to commute to Fort Lauderdale every day, which is okay. I'll hopefully head down early enough in the morning to kind of beat rush hour traffic, and I will be coming home late enough at night where the traffic will be much lighter. So I'm looking forward to that. So until then, everyone, enjoy your stitching, have fun, and I will see you probably at the end of May with an update. Thank you, everybody.